Wow, let me tell you something. It's amazing. Yesterday, I witnessed the devil intercepting my prayers. And I mean, what an amazing gift to be given. Yesterday, I was able to witness and discern and identify the devil actually intercepting my prayers and substituting phony solutions to my prayers. This was just amazing. Welcome to Checklist Ministries. I'm Mark Capuano. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like or a share. I'm not going to get into this, but I've been having a lot of tough times lately, and all different aspects of my life. I've been really down, really far down actually, and I'm currently trying to keep my home. I lost an executive job after 4 years because they couldn't afford to pay me. I've had 7 collection agencies, struggling to keep my home, struggling just to survive day to day in many ways with my current debt and obligations. I'm buried in debt and financial troubles. I'm knowing that God says He wishes for us above all to lend and not borrow. He wishes for us to prosper in all things. So He wishes for us to win. He wishes for us to be happy and full of joy and to be successful. He doesn't wish for our failure. He doesn't wish for our struggling. He doesn't wish for any bad, ill feelings or ill outcomes for us. So, I prayed diligently to God, petitioning Him with all my faith for new funds and for new opportunities to get out of debt, in addition to many other things, and to glorify His name in all things always. And He answered my prayers. He really did. I mean, I've seen this so many times. I've seen the hand of God on my life. I've seen Him answer my prayers. And, that's why I do this service. That's why I'm working in this ministry. That's why I'm trying to share all these experiences, because I am just amazed when I get to see and witness God active in my life, when you get to physically see it. So I wanted to quickly talk to you about the ability to see the hand of God in your life and the ability to discern the difference of whether it's the hand of God or the devil interfering. Because sometimes it seems hard to discern the difference between them, especially in this atmosphere, in this climate we're living in these days. It's so hard to actually identify or discern right from wrong many times. I mean, even with all the AI out there, you can't discern if it's real or fake. So it gets tougher and tougher, and it's just going to keep getting tougher. So that's why you need to get closer to God. The closer you are to God, the more you actually know if something's right or wrong, if it's true or false. In many cases, at least in my experience at this point. For the first time in my life, I was able to actually see better than ever before, okay? I mean, this one hit me so hard. The devil actually intercepting my prayers. And many times we don't even know. Many times we don't even know when he's intercepting our prayers. We don't see it. We don't, because we're kind of caught up in the moment. But it depends on how close you are to God. The better you know God's will, God's word, and God's way, the more you talk to God, the more you pray to God, the closer you get to God, the better you can hear God, and the better you can identify when it's not God, when it's the devil or a demon acting, speaking, or doing something contrary to God's wishes or God's will. So, yes, it's true. There's a spiritual battle that is going on. It's going on for your soul, and it's going on for your spirit, and it happens all day, every day. And the closer you get to God, the more you start to observe this and you start to see it. Okay, and I actually heard demons speaking through another person one time after they had gotten me to compromise the will of God. It was scary. It was truly scary. I'm not going to lie to you, and it was mind-boggling because many times you just think this is something you hear, this is something fake, it's not real, but it is real. Demons are real. Everything is real. The spiritual war that's going on is real, okay? And, but today I wanted to just discuss what happened to me yesterday. I had an amazing prayer session with God, and I've been having some amazing prayer sessions with God for like a week now, over a week. And I brought all my petitions and let my heart out to God. I mean, you got to pour your heart. When you're struggling, you just got to be real. You got to be raw with Him. You got to share with Him what you're going through, the pain, and I've been continuing this prayer for over a week now. And I immediately started to see God's answers to my prayers. I immediately started to see his response. First thing he did was he was providing a new business opportunity out of nowhere that I never saw coming. It was amazing. I got a call on the phone the day after praying saying, Mark, can you get on a flight and handle all this new business for me? This opportunity will immediately help me with my mountain of financial debt and burdens. That was the hand of God. This came out of nowhere. I never saw this coming, okay? I didn't expect this. I didn't foresee this, but this will make a big difference. But I have to do something. I have to take action, and I have to also, be willing to put in the effort. Then the mortgage company said that I could pause the mortgage a little longer and push the debt to the end. So the mortgage, once I'm back on my feet, I can just make my payments as I used to, as usual, and the rest will be on the back end, so it won't be this giant burden. That was the hand of God, So the business opportunity, the flight was the hand of God. This mortgage, that was the hand of God. Then I got a phone call from the health insurance provider saying they could extend the time frame for insurance coverage longer, giving me more time to get my financial paperwork in order. That was the hand of God. These things all came to me. I didn't solicit. They all came. These were all the hand of God. Then there was a few more other opportunities I can't think of right now off the top of my head, but those were also the hand of God. But then this is where it happens. Then I had an opportunity that came from a close friend that I trust that said, if you could if I could give him $1,000, that he could, that it would be able to be turned around in like a week or two and give me 50 times my money in 2 weeks. Now, $1,000 was all the money I had. Okay. And he said I'd have to transfer it through a Zelle or Venmo. Okay. Now I didn't have a Zelle account. I didn't have a Venmo account, and all I had was $1,000. But I'm thinking, wow, maybe this is an answer to my prayer. I prayed that I'd have all these debts paid for, and if I give him this $1,000, I'm going to get like $50,000. Okay? And initially, that's like, wow, this is great. My prayer was answered. Okay? But then you have to think about that for a second, And I'm getting this offer. I first saw it. Is my friend asking me to borrow some, I first thought that he was asking me to borrow some money. So I was thinking, okay, he needs to borrow like $1,000. That's no problem. And I can just lend it to him. He'll give it back to me in a few days. I know he's good for it. So I was willing to, lend him the money. Because I knew I'd get it right back. So it's no big deal. And it was all the money I had at the moment. But I knew he had plenty of money. And so I figured it would be safe and able to give it back to me. So in a day or so. But then I realized there's an opportunity to make a large sum of money, okay? And that would answer all my prayers. And I was like, oh, wow. Then it started settling. And then I was like, then I reverted back to the fish theory, If it looks like a fish and it smells like a fish, it's a fish. In other words, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. I'm sure you've heard one of those sayings before. Then I realized that was the devil. Those were demons. They intercepted my prayer. I mean, this actually blows my mind. Think about it. I was praying diligently to God, okay? But you see, the devil listens too. The devil listens to your prayers. And he was listening, okay? And he said, oh, let's throw in this fake opportunity. Let's throw in this opportunity that looks, like, it answers all his prayers. And it did. On the onset, it appeared to be an answer to all my prayers. But then upon further review, it's like, oh no, this is not good at all. I mean, in reality, where in the world can you get 50 times your money in a few days? There's something wrong, Something's not right there. And you got to know that. So you see, God was offering me all these opportunities to generate new income legitimately through honest efforts and honest work. But the devil came in and offered me an opportunity to make more than all of those combined without doing anything, okay? So there is a fishy thing there. It's like, okay, something's fishy, And this is clearly the hand of the devil. This is clearly the devil intercepting my prayer, Okay, he knew that I had a financial troubles. He knew that I was desperate and needed financial assistance. He knew that I was buried in debt and struggling financially, and he provided me with a great opportunity to answer our prayers. Okay, but this wasn't a great opportunity. There's always a hook. There's always some side effect. There's going to be a side effect. So then you got to ask yourself, okay, but what are the consequences of taking the devil's offer? Well, I think it goes without saying. We all know the consequences of taking the devil's offer are not good. They're not good. It's not good to take the devil's offer. It's not good. There's always going to be bad consequences, bad side effects. I don't know exactly, but I do know they're not good. I know that good comes. I know that no good, I should say. I know that no good comes from the devil's work. So all good does come through God, okay? Then the funny thing, though, is to watch how the devil can turn around, how God can turn around the devil's work, okay? And then God turns around and puts a twist on the devil's intentions. So let's think about this for a second. God then intercepted the devil's interception. The devil intercepted my prayer for financial assistance to God. Okay. Then God took away that opportunity before I had a chance to act on it. Okay. So God took away the opportunity before I had a chance to act on it. But I did create a Zelle account and I did create a Venmo account and I did get a QR code for both accounts. Okay. To receive money, which I needed for my business. And I've been putting this off for years now. So I've needed a Zelle and Venmo account that I've been putting off for years. This opportunity, the devil intercepted and created this false opportunity that forced me to get these accounts to make the transfer. But then God took away that opportunity before I had a chance to act on it. However, he did allow me to create these accounts, which I needed, which he then provided me new opportunities and new connections to use these accounts legitimately, providing legitimate real services. Okay, so God is bringing new people that will need this QR code to scan to pay me for my services, and he also these accounts to transfer money that I'll need for people to pay me for these services, and for me to pay some people for some services I need for business. Okay, so I've needed these for a while, so now I was able to get these done for legitimate services now. So now it's back to God's way, God providing, God answering my prayers. Even through the interception of the devil, God then blocks it, comes in, uses it for his benefit. It's so awesome. It's so awesome to witness this and to be able to see this. So you see how God intercepted that and how we use the devil's, and how he used the devil's evil for my benefit and for his benefit. It just blows my mind, okay? It just blows my mind. So, what this shows about God's nature, okay? God can turn an ambush into an upgrade. The enemy set the snare, but God used it to move me forward. God always works in alignment with our calling, okay? Payment systems, QR codes, organization may not feel spiritual, but they equip us to do ministry. They equip me to do ministry, to do my business, and to serve in more effective ways. God is faithful to provide protection and progress. He didn't just shield me from loss. He used the moment to push me into setup and preparation for my future benefit and future business goals and ventures. The spiritual lesson for me, for us here, is you can now reframe how you see temptations and counterfeits. The devil tried to use good desires, love, prosperity, and success, twist them into traps. God flips it again. He lets those moments reveal gaps in your preparation and then helps you fill them. The result, you come out stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the real blessings and blessings that are still ahead of us. The pattern that we've seen here. I prayed for financial breakthrough, counterfeit opportunity, a rushed, pressure-filled, too good to be true scheme. Again, not God's provision, but the devil's distraction. I prayed for real blessing. God did provide mortgage extension, health insurance grace, unexpected funds, and even the business trip and the business opportunity that came up. These align with God's character, particularly, practical, steady, steadfast, peace-giving, blessing, not pressure or confusion. No confusion, no pressure. So, there's a way to discern right there if it's coming from God. Is there pressure? Is it fruit-filled? Is it, does it appear to be a blessing? Is it peace-filled? Is it steady? Is it practical? Is it a real opportunity? Okay. All those things align with God's will. The biblical grounding on counterfeits, so using some more biblical grounding here, counterfeits are real. Satan disguises himself as an angel of light in 2 Corinthians 11:14. He offers almost right things that look like answers but lead to harm. Okay? Prayers delayed or interfered with in Daniel 10. The angel tells Daniel his prayer was heard immediately, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days until help came. That shows there can be a real spiritual opposition between our prayer and God's answer. And there's a real spiritual option here. God's provision versus the enemy's bait. James 1:17 says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the lights. The key is good and perfect. God doesn't send gifts that cause fear, confusion, or compromise. Okay? How to guard against these interceptions. Okay? So here's some ways to guard against it. The peace test. God's blessings, they come with peace, not pressure. Philippians 4:17. How about the fruit test? God's provision produces good fruit over time. Satan's gifts rot quickly. This is, you can refer to Matthew 7 on. They just want this to stop. They want to interfere with this. The patience test. Just as I get frustrated. The patience test. That was perfect, right? Showing sin right there. The patience test. It's amazing, the interference that I'm getting right now. Demands instant action without discernment. It's usually not God, okay? So the patience test, it demands instant action without discernment. That's how you know it's usually not God. The word test, okay? Hold every opportunity against Scripture. If it doesn't align, reject it. The word test. Hold every. These verses remind us that God's heart is not for lack, despair, or failure, but for abundance, fruitfulness, and success when we walk with Him. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Give us a like. Share if you want to share it. Find a good Bible-based church. Attend service weekly and support them. Thank you.